History has seen some powerful, inspirational women, and also some of the cruelest, and the most evil women. While women's history has been ignored or erased over the centuries, many women have made a huge impact on society. Before we begin, subscribe to our channel, The History of Women. World War II, the most destructive and deadliest war in human history. Millions of people in German-occupied territories were sent to Nazi concentration camps. Nazi camps became symbols of genocide, terror, and the Holocaust. Nazi camp guards were known for their brutality and merciless. Some of them volunteered to become SS guards. Women guards usually came from lower or middle-class families and had no work experience. The camp guards were expected to treat the prisoners brutally. Stutthof, a Nazi concentration camp near the village of Stutthof, east of Danzig. Stutthof was the first concentration camp created by the Nazis outside of Germany. It was established in 1939 as a camp for civilian war prisoners, then in 1942 became a concentration camp. The Nazi Germans used Stutthof prisoners as forced laborers, later converted it into an extermination camp in 1944. A crematorium and gas chamber were added. It is estimated that between 63,000 and 65,000 prisoners of Stutthof camp and its sub-camps died due to extreme labor conditions, starvation, epidemics, executions, brutal and forced evacuations. Stutthof camp was the last camp to be liberated by the Allies on the 9th of May 1945. Elisabeth Becker, Stutthof camp guard. She was born the 20th of July 1923 in Newtek, Free City of Danzig, to a German family. In 1936, at the age of 13, she joined the League of German Girls. The League of German Girls was the girls' wing of the Nazi Party youth movement, the Hitler Youth. In 1938 she became a cook in Danzig. Nazi Germany invaded Poland in 1939. Germany annexed most of western Poland and Danzig. Becker successfully adapted to the new situation. She began working for the Dokendorf firm in Newtek, where she worked from 1940 to 1941. Later became an agriculture assistant in Danzig. The SS needed more guards in 1944 at the nearby Stutthof concentration camp. Becker was called in for concentration camp service. She arrived in Stutthof on the 5th of September 1944 and began training as an SS Aufseherin. She then worked in the women's subcamp SK3 of the Stutthof concentration camp, where she personally selected women and children for the gas chamber. She worked at Stutthof camp for 4 months. Jenny-Wanda Barkmann, known as the Beautiful Spectre. She was born on the 30th of May 1922 in Hamburg, Weimar Republic, to a low-income family. Not much is known about her life. She spent her childhood in Hamburg and in 1944 became a guard in the women's subcamp of the Stutthof concentration camp. Barkmann became famous for her exceptional brutality. She tortured prisoners, some to death. She did not hesitate to beat prisoners to death. Also participated in selection of women and children for the gas chambers. Because of her cruelty, the prisoners nicknamed her the Beautiful Spectre. As the Soviet Red Army advanced on Stutthof camp, most of the SS camp guards fled the camp. On the 9th of May 1945, Stutthof camp was liberated by Soviet Red Army. Becker fled the camp on the 15th of January 1945 and returned to her home Newtek. 3 months later, on April 13, Becker was arrested by Polish police and imprisoned awaiting trial. Barkmann fled the Stutthof camp and went into hiding for a few months. On May 1945, while trying to escape at a railway station in Gdansk, she was recognized and arrested. Becker and Barkmann, along with 11 other defendants, were tried at the first Stutthof trial by the joint Soviet-Polish Special Criminal Court from the 25th of April 1946 to the 31st of May 1946 at Gdansk, Poland. During the hearing, the former SS female guards giggled and joked. They didn't care about the charges on them. Barkmann was still concerned with her appearance during her imprisonment and trials. She did different hairstyle every day and was apparently seen arranging her hair while hearing testimony. She is said to have flirted with her prison guards, giggled through the trial. Becker had confessed to selecting at least 30 female prisoners to be gassed, but later retracted her confession. Becker and Barkmann, along with 9 others defendants, were convicted of crimes against humanity and sentenced to death, while the remaining 2 defendants were sentenced to 3 to 5 years in prison. After the sentence was announced, most of the defendants cried and pleaded for their life. Becker cried and pleaded for her life. She pleaded not guilty to the charges. Only Jenny Barkmann remained calm and declared, "Life is indeed a pleasure, and pleasures are usually short." Becker sent several letters to Polish President Bolesław Bierut requesting a pardon. The court had recommended that Becker's sentence be commuted to 15 years on the grounds that her actions had not been as severe as those of co-defendants Gerda Steinhoff or Jenny-Wanda Barkmann. Becker had been at the camp for the shortest amount of time, but no pardon was issued. The execution took place on July 4, 1946 in public at Biskupia Górka Hill in Gdańsk, Poland. Thousands of people came to watch the execution. Former Stutthof prisoners volunteered to serve as executioners. 11 convicts, commander of the guards, 5 female guards and 5 men capos were brought to the place of execution. The convicts were on the backs of 11 trucks, with tied hand and foot, noose around their neck of the gallows, and pushed out of the truck. Elisabeth Becker and Jenny Barkmann and 9 others were publicly hanged by short drop method on the 4th of July 1946 on Biskupia Górka Hill in Gdansk, Poland. Barkmann was the first to be hanged, and she was 24 years old, and Elisabeth Becker was 22 years old. If you find our video interesting, please subscribe to support, like and share the video.